by Shayna Knoll.
Where I sit is holy, holy is the ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit circles all around me. Who I am is holy, holy are we. Body, thought, emotion, connecting you and me. Great Spirit circles all around me. How about what I do? What I do is holy, holy is my way. Work and play together, celebrate the day. Great Spirit circles all around me. Let's do that first verse. Where I sit is holy, holy is the ground. Forest, mountain, river, listen to the sound. Great Spirit circles all around me.
My name is Marianne, and I am your trustee on duty today. On behalf of Reverend Donna and the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to welcome you here to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. And you guys don't know how good it feels to be back here. Okay, whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are truly welcome here. Here you will be validated and supported and encouraged to be everything that you were meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. You'll find our declaration of principles on the back of your program. Please join with me in reading them. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life happy, healthy, and complete. And so it is. Yes. Do we have first-timers here besides me? Would you like to be recognized as a first-timer, or would you like to be anonymous? Audrey, I'm so glad that you are here on this day. It's just, well, it's Father's Day. Come to think of it. I was thinking about it on the way over here, Audrey, and I was thinking, sometimes fathers get a bum rap.
That's for sure.
I mean, they don't even have as many Hallmark cards as the moms do. I noticed that. So, all fathers, grandfathers, wannabe fathers, not wannabe fathers, gender people different than me, pick something. Welcome. And Audrey, welcome to you. I'm so glad you're here. Please stay after and try to get to know us a little bit. We'll try to get to know you too. I'd like to thank all the people that made this Sunday celebration possible. And first of all, that's you sitting in those chairs. You know, if we didn't all come here, somebody has changed the script, you know what? You know, if we didn't all come here, it wouldn't be the same, would it? It wouldn't. And thank you to the ones who make sure everything is set up for the gathering. Please direct your attention now to the announcements that are in your bulletin. And if you're watching us online, please visit cslaz.org for our announcements and our events calendars. Please turn off your cell phones. You know, whenever I say that, I always think, oh God, don't let it be me that whose phone rings between this podium and my seat back there. All right, and now.
And highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. I forgot what I was going to say. I was going to tell a little story and I forgot it. Well, we'll just get on with things. I'm going to take this candle that represents the divine light that shines out of each one of you every day, every minute. So let's begin just by closing our eyes. Be here right now as we give thanks for this beautiful day, for the opportunity to be together, to love one another in this lovely and beautiful space that we all created together. So for this and so much more, we give thanks as we celebrate this day in love and joy. I release these words now into the law as we say together, and so it is. I'm an advocate of the Science of Mind magazine, as you all know. And this month, a little single page jumped out at me and resonated as though I could have written it. It's from The Art of Being Human, called All Bodies Are Beautiful. A radical self-love world is a world that works for everybody. Creating such a world is an inside-out job. How we value and honor our own bodies impacts how we value and honor the bodies of others. That's by Sonia Renee Taylor. So one of my favorites, Reverend Masando Hiraoka, is the Associate Minister at New Thought Center for Spiritual Living in Lake Oswego, Oregon. He writes regularly, just a single page. For the majority of my life, he writes, I have criticized my body. From the details of my skin, to the structure of my face, to the weight I happen to be at any moment. It's strange how normal this feels and how often these kinds of thoughts about my body casually run through my mind. I also realize the immense amount of privilege I have as a man and how pervasive this culture is when it comes to beauty standards for women. The idea that some bodies are more beautiful and worthy of love than others, the feeling that whatever weight we are isn't good enough, the absurd expectations that we all should have the same metabolism as a 20-year-old is so prevalent that it even makes its way into our spiritual lives. I've seen spirituality used as a twisted aggression against ourselves to lose weight, as if smaller bodies are signs of a higher consciousness or a more evolved state of being. What's more, this kind of self-criticism and judgment easily transfers and shapes how we look at others. As Sonia Renee illuminates, without even knowing it, we can judge the value of others based on their bodies, their weight, their skin. Studies demonstrate that just as much discrimination exists around body as race, class, and gender. Let's be real and tell the truth here. And let's say it to ourselves and others all day, every day, as much as we possibly can. All bodies are beautiful. Period. Large bodies, small bodies, pear-shaped bodies, bodies of diverse abilities, short bodies and elderly bodies, are all worthy of love and the kind of honor that we give to the divine within. Our worth, value, and desirability are not rooted in our weight or any other social construct of beauty. Our worth and value comes from within through the realization that from the cradle to grave, our bodies are beautiful and sacred, amazing vessels of the divine. Boldly, proudly, and without apology, let's say it out loud. My body is beautiful.
My body is beautiful.
Your body is beautiful.
Your body is beautiful.
All bodies are beautiful.
All bodies are beautiful.
And so it is. So you know that the little box over there on the wall is for prayer requests. There is nothing too small or too large, nothing too personal, nothing too universal that we as a group of practitioners and our minister will hold in prayer for the following week. And you can join us in that affirmative prayer as you write your prayer request. Remember that we all have power as we affirmatively make our statements. What else am I supposed to do? I haven't been up here for a while. Yeah, it's been a month. I think that's about it. Is that perfect? So now I take this light that represents the divine light in each of you as I go and hold the high watch for you all. Thank you.
What a perfect song this is for today. It's a song by Daniel Nahmod, one of my friends and yours. It's called Father of My Soul.
blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of the day. For the light and the shadow, for the triumphs and trials, for the moment and mystery, for sorrow and smiles, for the peace and the conflict, for the silence and song, for the calm and confusion, for the winter and the warm. Oh, oh, Mother of my heart, thank you for the blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Mother of my heart, thank you for the blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Mother of my heart, thank you for the blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Mother of my heart, thank you for the blessings of the day. For the light and the shadow, for the triumphs and trials, for the moment and mystery, for the sorrow and the smiles, for the peace and the conflict, for the silence and song, for the calm and confusion, the winter and the warm. Oh, oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of the day. Oh, oh, Father of my soul, thank you for the blessings of the day.
Thank you. Namaste.
Thank you, Heather. That was fun. I like that. Good morning. Yeah, first off, I want to thank John Lopez for filling in for me this past Sunday. I thought our plane left in the afternoon, and 2 days before we were to leave, I discovered that it took off at 11 o'clock. So I called John in a panic, and he said, of course, I'll be happy to step in. So one of the things I think that we're really blessed to have is practitioners. All practitioners, every single one of you can step in for me and do a heck of a job. And John did just that, so I thank him very, very much. John and I were in San Diego with our family. Our youngest grandson graduated from grade school to middle school, and our older big brother Andrew, graduated from middle school to high school. So that was our prelude to Father's Day. And like everybody says, it is Father's Day. I wish everybody a very happy Father's Day, and I do honor all of the fathers in our midst. So our theme for the month is Just to Live is Holy. And as I have said before, it comes from a statement by Rabbi Abraham Heschel: just to be is a blessing. Just to live is holy. And I think if we all got up in the morning and said that 3 times before we brushed our teeth, I think it would make a difference in the world, don't you? Because I do think that we forget that. We get caught up in the trauma and drama of the world or of our own personal lives, and we forget the blessings that are integral to life itself. Brother David Stendhal Rast, he has a website called gratefulness.org, and he's my go-to site when I want to be uplifted. And he posted this poem by Robert Frost called Dust of Snow. The way a crow shook down on me the dust of snow from a hemlock tree has given my heart a change of mood and saved some part of a day I rued. So we can put ourselves in Mr. Frost's position. We can surprise that he was not in a good mood. He was lost in thought about grumpy, and then this crow hops on a snow-covered branch, and the snow on his neck surprised him out of his gloomy countenance. And think about it. Haven't there been times when we've had some little surprise? We call them, my son and I call them God giggles. Just a little surprise that caused us to snap out of a bad mood. In fact, David Stendhal Rast uses surprise as a synonym for God, because it's those surprises that you go, oh, and all of a sudden your whole countenance changes. And matter of fact, he says, surely you will remember a similar experience of your own. Some quirky little incident made you smile, changed your mood, and suddenly the world looked brighter. If this ever happened to you, the key for understanding a causal chain of great consequence is in your hand. Any change in attitude changes the way one sees the world, and this in changes the way one acts. When Robert Frost claims that this crow's little trick saved part of a day he had rued, or of which he was repenting, he means this in the full sense of a redeeming change of heart. When he got home, I'm sure he greeted Mrs. Frost in a better mood than he would have been able to without the crow's nudge. And there is no telling what this did to her, and the way she treated the dog afterwards or spoke to her neighbors. Let's put ourselves in his shoes as he's slouching moodily through the woods, and then he feels the dusting with snow. Think about how that would wake you up. And think about an interruption like this could make you angry if you insisted on staying preoccupied with your problems. It's like, oh no, now one more thing. But in his case, the surprise caused him to smile. And I think when we begin our day in prayer and meditation, then we are open to those little God giggles in our life. And if we open our eyes, there are gifts like that everywhere, ready to remind us that there is more to life than problems and tension, and that life truly is holy, and we are blessed just to be. As a matter of fact, we have lizards around here, all kinds of lizards. But we have one that puts his tail in the air like this and runs across, and he's pretending to be a scorpion, and he goes real, real fast. And if you haven't seen one before, they're really fun to watch. I mean, I'm kind of a lizard expert because I lived in the Ozarks. But this is one I hadn't seen before, and I haven't even looked around to see what he is. But it's so fun to watch them run across with their little tail up saying, I'm a scorpion. My topic today is to gently shake the world. And it's from a quote attributed to Mahatma Gandhi. It may or may not be his, but it's attributed to him. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. And I do believe that when we come from that centered place, the place where we feel that everything is holy, and then step out in the world to be the change we want to see, then what we do and how we will act and how we act will have a tenderness about it that is ultimately far more powerful than any force we might use to cause change. And I think that's a challenge for every single one of us. How do we maneuver the world of affairs from a spiritual perspective? How do we stay spiritually grounded when the world is so full of sidetracks and distractions? And so this is a delicate dance between being and doing. I think that's the one message we have as in the Science of Mind, is learning to do this dance, to be able to see and claim the wholeness and perfection that is the innate truth in each and every one of us, and the truth back of all creation, and knowing that here in this world of duality there is work to do. Poet E.B. White captured this dance of being and doing. He said, "Every morning I awake torn between a desire to save the world and an inclination to savor it. This makes it hard to plan the day. But if we forget to savor the world, what possible reason do we have for saving it? In a way, the savoring must come first." I remember the guy that does those beautiful slow motion flower things, Louis, I've forgotten his, Schwartz something or other. He said, "We take care of what we love." If we're here loving something, then we automatically care for it. So that savoring coming first means just that. We love something, and then we go out and save it. So I trust that we've all created some kind of time and place for our spiritual work, where we ground ourselves in that divine beingness. And it's a time and place where we savor the world and where we savor our place in it. And it's from this place of divine grounding that we move out into the public arena, and we find those places where we can gently shake the world and with loving compassion become the change we want to see. Author and spiritual leader Matthew Fox says, yes, savoring is our contemplation, our mysticism. Saving it is our prophetic work of sacred activism, and we need both. Our prophetic work must come from a deep place, a place of prayer, therefore, and not from an action-reaction response of our reptilian brains. There's enough of that. If we are ever-deepening lovers of life, mystics, and defenders of life, sacred activists, then we are a people who pray always and can take heart in trying times. So this is the work that we're called to do, you and I, to understand this rhythm, so that from our contemplative work as mystics, we can savor life and then move out into the world as sacred activists. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, tells us a religious scientist is a practical idealist, but not a dreamer. Thought swings from contemplation into action, from prayer into performance. For while there is in the innermost recesses of our soul a place which dwells in eternal stillness and in action, there is also a place at the circumference of our being which, animated by this inner principle, goes forth to accomplish. So here again is that sense that we find in ourselves, that we're one with the power and perfection of God, with all life, and from that place move into the world of affairs. It's a bit of a paradox. The world is perfect and there's work to do. And I think that's really what messes up so many people when they first come to Science of Mind. They say, okay, if it's so perfect, then why is the world so full of muck? And it's hard to get that it's behind everything that this perfection and this wholeness and this love. And if there's muck, it's because at some level we've agreed to it. We're out of alignment with those loving characteristics of the infinite power and presence. Dr. Holmes says we would defeat the very purpose of life, that we should live in a continuous state of meditation or prayer, oblivious to the objective world. The practical values of spiritual perception remain latent until objectified. Any attempt to isolate oneself from the world of action is contrary to the order of the universe and therefore futile. So there may be gurus who sit on mountaintops and never come out of their caves, but we're not them. We're active, we're involved, and we're engaged in our world. And when we consciously meld our spirituality with our actions, we are functioning at the highest level possible. And that's the way we gently shake the world. We ask, what actions do I take? that profess the holiness which undergirds everything. Where can I be a blessing to the world? And so often we think that changing the world requires some huge effort with some extraordinary outcome. But I think it's the little things, the gentle and tender responses to our world that are most important. And those little efforts may birth something beyond what we can see at the moment. Most of you know Pastor Mauricio of the Apostolic Church just down the street, one of the sweetest people on the planet, and so are the people that he serves. Years ago, a disabled veteran was living in a trailer in Amado that was destroyed by a fire. The vet came to Pastor Mauricio for help. Pastor Mauricio found him shelter and provided him with food. And he also realized that the needs of this disabled veteran only touched the surface of the needs of Amado and its families. In his quiet way, Pastor Mauricio set about to meet those needs. Given a small space behind the Cow Palace restaurant, he began a grassroots movement using his own money and his own transportation to provide food and assistance to those in need. Today, what Pastor Mauricio and a dedicated few began over 20 years is now the Amado Food Bank. It has served over 700 families weekly, covering the areas of Amado, Lakewood, Elephant Head, Arivaca, Tubac, Tumacacori, Carmen, as well as other portions of Santa Cruz County. He hasn't stopped there. There's lots of other things he's done, but this is what he began. And it was his way of gently shaking the world, of seeing to the needs at hand and then letting that action take its course. And today, you and I are part of the evolution of that process, because this church ties a great deal of our finances to the Amado and Green Valley Food Bank, as well as taking families in for Christmas. So that's how all of this starts to be a beautiful tapestry of love. And I'm really going to do a U-turn. John's turned me into a political junkie. Uh-oh, yeah. And I've watched the January 6th hearings. I'm really interested in them. But I'm saddened, of course, that there's so much viciousness and dissension that any discussion is impossible, unless you're married to somebody that you can talk to. And I sometimes feel that as a spiritual person, I want nothing to do with politics. But in her book, Healing the Soul of America, Reclaiming Our Voices as Spiritual Citizens, Marianne Williamson reminds us, politics, ideally, is a context for the care of the public good. The word politics comes from an ancient Greek root, politia, which means a gathering of citizens. She says, from the early American Quakers to Henry David Thoreau to Mahatma Gandhi to Martin Luther King Jr., the effort to bridge the inner-outer duality has been one of the high points of human philosophy and endeavor. America has been fertile ground for such philosophy since our earliest days. It is the message that our spiritual and political evolution are not separate, but intimately and potentially even gloriously connected. It is the suggestion that we cannot give to the world what we have not achieved within ourselves, and we cannot keep for ourselves what we have not yet given to the world. Yet again, we are looking at this call to swing from contemplation to action, from prayer to performance, and a call to consider politics in its truest form, a gathering of citizens who care for each other and for the good of all. So for me, this is a call to go deeper into my own spiritual nature so that I can see and feel the sacredness of all life. It's a call to become involved, to ask myself, in what ways can I gently shake the world? How can I both savor the world as one walking a mystical path and save it in my small way as a spiritual activist? And I think perhaps my greatest insight is that as long as I complain, as long as I look at what is wrong, the more I am part of the problem. So the solution, I think, is to focus on what is right and good and true in this world, and in my own way, enhance that. Mother Teresa said, "I once was asked why I don't participate in anti-war demonstrations. I said, I will never do that. But as soon as you have a pro-peace rally, I will be there." What's the difference between an anti-war demonstration and a pro-peace demonstration? It's where you put your consciousness. As a visionary or as a complainer. Our own Dr. Holmes said it would be wonderful indeed if a group of persons should arrive on earth who were for something and against nothing. This would be the summum bonum, the ultimate goal of human organization. And as long as you and I are against anything, we are giving that thing power. We are contributing to the very thing that we are against. When our consciousness is on what we wish to see in the world, rather on what we don't, we have the power to bring that vision into focus and ultimately into reality. Marianne Williamson offers 7 principles to guide our spiritual political practice. And today I'm going to offer them to you. There's some pink sheets on the back table if you want a copy of them. But I just wanted to read them because I just reread them this morning, and it just it touched me. So these are the 7 principles to guide our spiritual political practice. Reminder: the powers within us, mind and spirit, are greater than all the powers outside. Number 2. Forgiveness and love are both our goal for the world and our means of achieving that goal. 3, we do not look away from the problems of the world, for that is negative denial. Rather, we look toward them and pray to be agents of positive change. 4, we embrace both the love and the sorrows of the world, for what is embraced with love is automatically delivered to realms of more positive unfoldment. 5, we will take constructive political action in accordance with the magnificent opportunities afforded us as citizens of a democratic society. But we do not act in order to oppose what is. We act in order to make positive choices for the future. 6, we seek peace within ourselves at all times, for lack of peace in us will be reflected outside ourselves. And 7, we see citizenship as a divine gift to be used in love service for the creation of a better, more just, more compassionate world. That's politics. So these principles are simple ideas that can help us align our inner spirituality with our outward actions, even in politics. When we remember to lead with love, forgiveness, and compassion, we automatically become a force for good. In My Grandfather's Blessings, author Rachel Naomi Remen says, "We restore the holiness of the world through our loving kindness and compassion. Every act of loving kindness, no matter how great or small, repairs the world. All those ever born have shared this collective work since the beginning of time." The name Kabbalah uses for this collective work is tikkun olam, and it means to repair and restore the world. Everything in life presents us with this opportunity. It invests all our struggles with a deeper meaning and the deepest joy. Tikkun olam points to the value of every life. My grandfather explained this to me when I was very small. We need to remember to bless the life around us and within us, he would tell me. When we bless others, we free the goodness in them and in ourselves. When we bless life, we restore the world. So as you and I keep before us Rabbi Heschel's words, just to be is a blessing, just to live is holy, we have a strong base from which we can then swing out into the world as agents for positive change. When we meld our mysticism with our spiritual activism, the universe will bless us with unlimited opportunities to gently shape the world. Thank you. Namaste.
All right, let's stand and sing. This is Radiant Light by Ricky Byers. How many of you know this song? Kinda, sorta? Okay. It goes like this. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. And then you repeat. I am the radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of peace. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of peace. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of peace. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of peace. Let's go to beauty. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of beauty. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of beauty. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of beauty. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of beauty. Love. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love. I am a radiant light of God. I shine the light of love.
Thank you. Okay, it's time for our offering. I do want to thank you for all that you do to help make this our center an opportunity for positive change. So thank you very, very much. Would you join me in our offering affirmation? My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am
little support. So, I know it's Father's Day and there may be some plans, but there's plenty of time to shop first. So don't forget to stop by Ooh La La. And if you have not visited Ooh La La, please do, because it is just the most amazing little store. I mean, it just with the most beautiful clothing. So take a few minutes, okay? So let's close this portion out in prayer and then have some refreshments, go shopping. And again, I wish everybody a very, very happy Father's Day. I know that there is one mind. It's the mind of God. It's the mind that we use. I know that there is one life. It is the life of God that animates all living beings. I know that this life shines through me, as me, and that with my consciousness of being one with that allows me to move out into the world with a sense of peace and joy and a sense of being a change agent for good. I give thanks for each and every one of us here. Give thanks that Heather is back with us, and also thank you to Wally Lauder for filling in at the last minute for us. I just know that we are blessed to have all of this and so much more. So I simply release these words in love, as together we say, and so it is. Thank you. Can we form a circle and sing stand?